JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Tuesday, February 4th, 3:18 on this fine afternoon. Talk really quick about the market. Some names I'm looking at go from there. S&P rallying into the green over that 600 handle. Uh, VIX is down, right? We were over 20 or close to 20 yesterday, down under 16, I think, a minute ago. Let's see here. Let me just respond to this. Oh, actually under 17, excuse me. So yields are lower and the US dollar is lower. So kind of a concoction of ingredients for the market to rally, or at least back over that 600 threshold. So big spot here, big earnings after the close too. We have Google, AMD. Uh, Google certainly more important, but AMD though right at the lows. I kind of wish I was looking at the calls yesterday, but that certainly set things up into tomorrow. And then it seems like it's so headline driven. It's almost like half you wants to tune out the noise, but the other half is you got to pay attention to headlines because there could be some that maybe have some bigger market impacts. But for now, earlier today you had reports. Well, right after the noon hour, uh, first it was reported that Trump was going to speak to President Xi, and then reports came out and said, "Oh, not speaking today." And then you saw market pull back just a little bit, and some of the China ADR names pull back. But I really don't think it doesn't. To me, it doesn't. I don't know how much the discussion matters. I think these China stocks are going to rally regardless. So let me go into some individual names. After the close today, I just want to see Google kind of in line and obviously talk about DeepSeek, and then they're going to want to hear about their spend in AI. That's been the big issue that's had some impacts on some names. You look at what Google has done. Let's see if I have last quarter. I just posted it before, but last quarter was up 2.8%. The quarter before down 5%. This quarter, year over year. So last year at this time, it was down 7.5% after reported earnings. So definitely something to watch. All right, so now some individual names. I was talking about getting the Shopify calls on the watch list yesterday morning. Is kind of like a deja vu situation. Sure enough, shop opens in the green and rallies all the way up to that 120 handle. So kind of want to see it break over 121. Able to lock some more calls. Well, some of the calls out for 100% at the open, and then more out for over 400, close to 400% a little later on. And then I'm just going to hold the rest because I think if it can break that 121, I have to look exactly what that number is. I think it's 121.60. Uh, the highs from last Friday, I think it's off to the races. Then you also have the possible sympathy move with Amazon earnings. 122, excuse me. It hit 122 on the nose last Friday. So that's a big spot. And I have to get the 122 calls. I have to like maybe some overshoot, 125, if not higher. So that's what I'll hold on to. Maybe I'll use 117 as a stop. It's gonna be tough. I mean, if Google lays an egg after hours today, tech sector is gonna get hit a little bit. So it'd be tough to close those out after hours. But uh, that's kind of the thought process there. So shop deja vu, another great week so far on Shopify. And then Baidu. Baidu, right out of the gate, it was 89 to change, and then just melted higher into the noon hours. Up, well, it's still up close to 6%. My the calls I added yesterday were up near 100% at the highs. Once it pulled back a little bit, they're pretty much flat right now. But I'll just continue to hold those. I keep looking for more strikes into next week. I just want to see some follow through. So 200-day moving average 91.79. It holds that tomorrow. I'll look for some more calls into next week. Again, if you look December, I think it was December 9th was the levels it's trending at right now. Once it breaks that over the 200-day moving average, I think it's ingredients for a move higher. So really like the Baidu setup here. So that's Baidu. And then SSYS. And SSYS is right here at highs here. I was talking about on the watch list yesterday morning that if it holds the gains from the gap yesterday and then follows through today, I think it has the possibility of heading much higher and much higher, $20 over 20. So $14 the first target I put on the watch list this morning. The December strikes I added, was able to close some out for almost 100% just a little while ago. Added some March 15s. I might look out to June. Call me crazy, but maybe I'll wait till tomorrow. But it's one of those names, and if you've traded for a long time, well, how long you've been following the 3D sector was a hot sector back in the day. I don't know how long, maybe 10 years ago. And stocks like DDD, SSYS was a $120 stock, and then it came back to earth. To me, the story hasn't changed. It's just they're kind of out of the limelight, and then it took some time to reestablish growth because some of the reason SSYS trades down here is that the company hasn't grown like it was a while ago. But now, fundamentally sound. Uh, Growth is coming back. They just got that $120 million investment. Trades at very inexpensive multiples. So if it starts to return to growth, So I'm not going to get too excited over it, but I don't want to be in a situation where I'm staring at calls into June and the stock gets destroyed, right? So for now, I'll just hold the March strikes and continue as it breaks areas of the 14 target. Maybe I'll start looking at $20 strikes. And you look further out, the $20 area was hit back in 2023. So again, I said it this morning, not saying it's getting to that level today or this week, but I think that's a long-term move. I think that could happen. All right, so that's SSYS. I also went and I'm back in VKTX. I don't know the last time I was in calls, maybe back in August, September. But here it is, right at multi-year, well, lows not seen since last March. And ironically enough, this is the levels it was at when it announced its oral data and went from 30 to 90. So they report earnings tomorrow after the close. Uh, I had it on the watch list to get the February 45s. Thankfully, I was able to get some a little higher than that price that I put on here. Um, and then the premiums have come up. So thankfully able to I'm not going to lock any in, but maybe tomorrow I'll be able to get some in to cover costs and I'll ride some into earnings. But definitely a good setup. One more second here. Uh, what else we have here? So that's VKTX. And then Roku was rallying with Spotify. Even Netflix was rallying in the morning and gave back some of the gains in typical style. Back here at $80. It's surprising to see Netflix give back some of the gains. It started to bounce, but it's kind of down here at 990. Not much. I'm not going to add the 105 February just yet, but they report earnings a week from Thursday. So I'll just continue to hold those. Trip hanging on there. The more it's trading here, the more it looks like a bull flag. So even today, all the way down to what it's 17, it's 1698, just barely held on to 17 and bounced. Hopefully it can get its act together and start to take off. That nice bull flag setup. Still looking at possibly DocuSign, similar to yesterday. It laid an egg at the open, and it's kind of just been floundering, I guess is the word to describe it. Still like that for a move to 107. Don't be surprised if I had some strikes on that one. The aligned strikes, so the 265s, they report earnings tomorrow after the close. Uh, the 265s they've come down the premium. So another name I might just trade for premium, build into earnings tomorrow. Close some out and either ride the rest or close them all out. But it's 40 by 70. It's down 33%. The stock is barely down today. So that's a line. And then AMD, I was just saying that it started around AMD, the 135 strikes were like 40 or 50 cents yesterday. It was trading around 114. I passed, and then sure enough, they were a double here today. Let's see what they are now. But I'll probably just sit on my hands. It's had a history of some large moves here too. The 135s are now 95 by 97. So uh, I don't want to ride as much as I think it's going to break into the 120s and beyond. I just don't have that high conviction, but certainly will be interesting tomorrow. And I think that's it, folks. Let's have a great day. I'll be back. Rock and roll.